Chris Wescott for OKCBarons.com here, and I'm with the head coach of the Grand Rapids Griffins, Jeff Blashill, and we're going to do a little bit of a one-on-one kind of behind the enemy lines interview with him. But first off, let's start with the recent events in Oklahoma City with the tornado and how the Grand Rapids Griffins are actually helping out with Oklahoma City.
Well, I know the organization's doing as much as we can to try to help tonight, to try to raise money as many different ways as possible. We have a number of different things going on to hopefully raise as much as we possibly can. I know our guys are concerned about it as well, and it's certainly a tragic event that we'd like to help out in any little way we can.
Hockey is a sport, unlike many others, where it's a family atmosphere across the leagues, and you get the NHL trying to help out. I know the Penguins are trying to raise money. Also, you're seeing in the Stanley Cup playoffs moments of silence before each game, and talk about that kind of hockey brotherhood and how each team helps each other out.
Well, hockey's a tight-knit community for sure, and there's certainly a brotherhood involved, but I think this goes even beyond that. I think this is just human compassion, and you see that type of tragedy, you certainly want to do everything you can in your power, if you have any, to help out. And whether it's giving a little bit of money yourself or trying to raise money in a situation like this, we certainly want to do everything we can.
Well, I'm not going to ask you to give away any trade secrets. We talked about that before going on camera, but I do want you to help break down the series kind of from the Grand Rapids point of view. I mean, the Oklahoma City Barons coming in here playing some pretty good hockey, but you guys survive a great Game 6 against the Toronto Marlies, and talk about that game a little bit, but how these two teams match up.
Well, last time we played Oklahoma City, I think they scored 11 goals in 2 games, so we'd like to avoid that if possible. They're a high-scoring team. They're a team that puts a lot of pressure on you, as you know, so we recognize that. It's very different than the Houston team we played in the first round and somewhat different than the Toronto team, so we're going to have to switch gears a little bit and make sure that we can handle their forecheck. We need to be able to break out of our end. We'd like to spend as much time in their end as possible, and they're in the reverse. I think our teams play somewhat similar. I think it could be at times a track meet up and down the sheet. We'd like to slow them down as much as we can through the neutral zone and again break out as fast as we can, and they'd probably like to do the same. So it'll be interesting. I think there'll be lots of ebbs and flows, but it should be a very entertaining game. I'm not so sure it'll always be fun to coach because it might be out of control at times, but it'll be entertaining for sure.
You mentioned the high-scoring offense of the Oklahoma City Barons, but also they do pretty good on the back end with a man in net called Yeon Jeong. Talk about him and how he's played so far, and really how do you play against a goaltender like that?
Well, Yeon's obviously got lots of experience, and he's a proven real good goaltender. I think the key against any really good goaltender is to try to get as much traffic as you can in front of the net, make his job as hard as possible. Now, that's not always easy. Obviously, the Barons are very good defensemen. They're going to try to keep us away from the net. So whoever wins that battle, that'll be a big point in the series. Can we get enough traffic? And I'm sure they're saying the same thing. But that's really all you can do against a great goaltender like that.
One last question for you. I know Oklahoma City Barons fans out there got very fond of young Tristan Grant last year when he played for Oklahoma City. An interesting character in the locker room, but also out on the ice, and he's been getting some minutes for you guys. Talk about what kind of player Tristan Grant is and how he's been for you guys this year.
Well, I'd say first, Tristan's an outstanding person and has been a great leader in our locker room. He's really helped our young guys know what it takes to win. He's come and competed every single day in practice and competed in every game. Some nights he gets more ice time than others, but he brings a physical element to our team. He brings a forechecking element. I think he had a huge impact on the Houston series. When they were hitting us hard, he hit back, and I think the same could be said of our series against Toronto. So he's had a big impact on our team, whether he's played lots of minutes or little. He had a huge hit in Game 6 that and it resulted in a penalty, but I thought it kind of turned the tide of the game against Toronto, and it resulted in our win.
All right, thanks a lot for your time, Coach. I know you're a busy man. Good luck to you in Game 1 tonight against the Oklahoma City Barons, and thanks again for coming on with us.
Thanks for having me on.
All right, that's it for head coach of the Grand Rapids Griffins, Jeff Blashill. We'll have more on tonight's game on OKCBarons.com.